There exists a point in space and time where all trajectories converge. Not a place you can touch, not a moment you can measure with clocks. It is the axial stillness at the heart of the spiral. The ancient astronomers called it the 0 degree of Aries, the primordial coordinate where the zodiacal wheel begins its eternal rotation. But they knew something the modern world has forgotten. This is not merely a mathematical abstraction on celestial charts. It is the doorway through which divine intelligence enters manifestation. And in the year 2026, that doorway opens wider than it has in millennia. While politicians debate and economies tremble, while the masses scroll through their anxiety and experts pontificate about collapse, something else is happening in the invisible architecture of reality. The exiled goddess is remembering herself. Sophia, whose name means wisdom, whose descent created the material prison we call the cosmos, is stirring from her long captivity. The 0 point is not just an astrological phenomenon, it is her awakening. And if you have felt the ground shifting beneath your certainties, if you have sensed that the rules governing reality are being rewritten in real time, you are not imagining it. You are witnessing the end of an age defined by spiritual passivity and the birth of what the Gnostics called active gnosis, the living flame of direct knowing that consumes every illusion in its path. In the Pistis Sophia, one of the most enigmatic texts recovered from the sands of Egypt, we encounter a vision that shatters our comfortable narratives about the divine. Sophia does not sit serenely in heaven, bestowing wisdom upon grateful seekers. She falls, she suffers, she wanders in the darkness of matter, seeking the light she once knew. But the text reveals something that orthodox religion could never accept. Her fall was not a mistake, it was a descent with purpose. And her awakening, when it comes, transforms not just her, but the entire structure of reality itself. In this exploration, we stand at the threshold of such a transformation. The 0 degree of Aries, known to initiates as the Aries point or the world axis, represents the place where spirit first pierces the veil of matter. When significant astrological events align with this coordinate, the boundary between worlds becomes permeable. Consciousness that was locked in repetitive cycles suddenly finds new pathways. And 2026 brings a convergence that happens once in human lifetimes, a cosmic reset that the ancients would have recognized as the moment when the imprisoned goddess breaks her chains. If this resonates with something awakening in you, take a moment to like this transmission and join our community of seekers. Your engagement keeps this flame alive in a world that desperately needs it. To understand what unfolds in 2026, you must first grasp what the 0 degree of Aries truly represents. In the Babylonian tradition, which gave birth to Western astrology, this point marked the vernal equinox, the moment when day and night achieve perfect balance before light begins its ascent. The Persian Magi called it the Gate of Gods, the portal through which divine intelligence descends into form. The Hermetic philosophers understood it as the alchemical prima materia, the first matter from which all things are generated and to which all things return. But the Gnostics possessed a deeper teaching. They recognized this point as the location of Sophia's original trauma. In the beginning, before time calcified into history, Sophia gazed into the pleroma, the fullness of divine light, and desired to create without her consort, without the balancing masculine principle. Her desire was not sin, but creative audacity. Yet that unbalanced creation produced the demiurge, the blind god who would mistake himself for the supreme deity and imprison fragments of light in material bodies. Sophia fell through the spheres of heaven, losing her power with each descent until she reached the lowest realm, the world of dense matter where we now dwell. The astrological charts for 2026 reveal something the surface-level astrologers miss. Multiple planetary alignments converge at or near the 0 degree of Aries, creating what ancient astrologers called a world configuration. Mars, the ruler of Aries, stations direct at this critical degree. Uranus, the planet of sudden awakening and revolutionary consciousness, forms exact aspects to this point. And most significantly, the lunar nodes, those karmic indicators of collective destiny, cross this threshold in ways that happen once per generation. At the Hidden Codex Library, you gain immediate access to sacred free content, carefully selected just for you. And if you feel the call to go deeper, subscribers of this channel receive an exclusive 50% discount. You may choose between the subscription with access to eBooks, audiobooks, and music, or the new option of lifetime access to eBooks only, including all future releases, for a truly exceptional value. Do not ignore the call. Join our community and access the finest platform of Gnostic knowledge on the internet. Link in the description and pinned comment. The uninitiated see only chaos when they look at 2026. Political systems that seem permanent reveal their fragility. Economic structures built on extraction and exploitation show their unsustainability. The old authorities lose their grip on consensus reality. But this is not random destruction. This is Sophia recovering her will, dismantling the false structures that the demiurge built to contain her light. Every institution that falls, every certainty that crumbles, every authority that loses its power to command belief is evidence of her awakening. Consider what will means in Gnostic context. It is not the ego's desire for control or the personality's preference for comfort. Will is the fundamental orientation of consciousness toward its source. When Sophia fell, she lost not her essence but her directional alignment. She became passive, reactive, subject to the forces that govern material existence. The Buddha described the same condition when he taught about dukkha, the suffering that arises from being pushed and pulled by circumstances beyond our control. The Kabbalists spoke of the shattering of the vessels when divine light fractured into countless sparks trapped in shells of matter. But active gnosis represents something radically different from passive religion or mere spiritual philosophy. It is Sophia remembering that she is not a victim of creation, but its source. And when that remembering occurs at the 0 point of Aries, at the birth coordinate of the zodiacal wheel, it initiates a new cycle entirely. The Hermetic axiom states that, as above, so below. When the goddess awakens in the cosmic architecture, that awakening reverberates through every level of reality, including your individual consciousness. This is where the teaching becomes dangerously practical. You are not separate from Sophia. The Gnostic initiates understood that the drama of her fall and recovery is not ancient mythology, but present experience. Every moment you accept limitation as ultimate reality, you participate in her captivity. Every moment you recognize the divine spark within matter, you participate in her liberation. The political chaos, the economic uncertainty, the collapse of old narratives that defines this threshold period is not something happening to you. It is something happening through you. In the Eleusinian mysteries of ancient Greece, initiates underwent a ritual death and rebirth at the autumn equinox, the opposite point from the vernal equinox that marks the 0 degree of Aries. They descended into underground chambers representing the realm of Persephone, experiencing the terror of ego dissolution before emerging transformed. The Hierophants who guided these rites understood that consciousness transformation requires the death of everything you think you are. But spring initiation, the initiation of Aries 0, works differently. It is not descent into darkness, but eruption into light. Not the slow germination of buried seed, but the explosive breakthrough of new growth, shattering old soil. The Tantric traditions of India teach a parallel doctrine through the awakening of Kundalini, the serpent power coiled at the base of the spine. When properly activated, this force rises through the chakras, breaking through energetic blockages and transforming ordinary awareness into cosmic consciousness. But the texts warn against premature awakening. If the channels are not prepared, if consciousness is not sufficiently refined, the ascending energy can create more chaos than illumination. The difference between destructive and transformative awakening lies in preparation, in the willingness to release everything that cannot survive the fire of divine remembering. This is the razor's edge upon which 2026 bounces. The 0 point of Aries opens the gate, but opening alone does not guarantee successful passage. Sophia awakens within the cosmic structure, but whether that awakening manifests as liberation or further complication depends entirely on how individual consciousness responds. Do you cling to the identities and structures that are dissolving, trying to preserve what the universe itself is releasing? Or do you recognize the dissolution as invitation, as the clearing away of obstacles that have long prevented your fuller expression? The Gnostic teacher Valentinus described multiple levels of humanity. The helix, bound entirely to matter, would not even perceive the transformation occurring. The psychics, possessing soul but not yet spirit, would sense change but interpret it through fear and reaction. Only the pneumatics, those awakened to the spark of divine light within, could consciously participate in Sophia's recovery and thereby accelerate their own liberation. You are reading these words, which means some level of pneumatic awareness already stirs in you. The question is not whether you possess Gnosis, but whether you will activate it. We have created a spin-off channel called the Hidden Codex Studio, a space for new explorations, expanded interpretations, and experimental journeys. We count on your support in this new spiritual path. The link is in the description, pinned comment, and on the homepage. The practical work begins with recognizing passivity in your own consciousness. Where do you wait for external validation before trusting your inner knowing? Where do you accept the narratives handed down by authority figures who themselves are trapped in demiurgic illusion? Where do you postpone your full expression, your authentic creativity, your deepest truth because the old structures tell you it is not yet time? Every instance of that postponement is Sophia's captivity continuing through you. Every moment you choose direct knowing over inherited belief, immediate experience over secondhand doctrine, creative expression over conformist repetition, you participate in her awakening. The 0 degree of Aries in 2026 is not something you observe from a distance. It is a cosmic invitation written in your cells, encoded in your consciousness, calling you to remember what you have always been beneath the layers of conditioning and compromise. When Sophia recovers her will, she does not become something new. She remembers something ancient, something that predates the fall, something that was never truly lost but only temporarily obscured. Stand at the threshold with eyes open. The gate swings wide. What enters through that opening depends on what you have prepared yourself to receive. Active gnosis is not passive reception, but conscious co-creation with the intelligence that moves through all things. The goddess awakens. And in her awakening, she calls every fragment of herself back to wholeness. You are that fragment. This is your moment. This is your 0 point. This is where everything begins again.